Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Omar. I just wanted to build my watch list for Monday. I do this in like real time. I haven't looked at any of this stuff in advance, and I just want to show you my strategy for building my watch list and how I go about finding my plays and stuff like that. So, if you haven't watched any of my videos previously, go to YouTube, search for Bullish Bears, and you'll see I have a bunch of content on there regarding momentum trading for beginners and like building watch lists and how to set up Thinkorswim and all those good fun goodies. All right. So again, just to remind everybody, the way I built my criteria is I just go here and I look for my this is what my nightly scan is based on. It's really based on stocks that are between 20 cents and $30 that have a minimum value range of 500,000 shares or greater, that are up five, that are closed at least 5% higher than they opened. Then there's no max, and then usually I click the scan button and then it gives you a list of stocks. Shows a lot of plays, 90 stocks, so the market was pretty hot. And then what happens is I move this scan over on this side. So like you go to watch, I'm sorry, you go to you click this button and you go to personal, and you click on your scan and then it appears there. And then what I do is I go to charts and I just literally go through the stocks. So I filter to from the most the stocks with the highest percentage, and I work my way down. Okay, and I just quickly glance through the stocks to see where at. The first stock that appeared, this had the biggest gainer of the day, was CERU. And if you notice, let me put the 1 minute chart. So this is the 1 minute chart, and this is the 5 minute chart. So now I'm just using two charts. Before, if you've seen some of my previous videos, I had the 1, 3, and 5. I'm basically using the 1 and the 5. I mean, the 3 is probably better for like midday because the action's a little bit slower, but the 1 and 5 is fine. All right. So I'm gonna put the 5 day, 5 minute chart here and make sure that we can see it just to see where the stocks were at. And if you notice, the stock 5 days ago, the stock was at 76 cents and it's gapped up to 168. Big move. And you notice when the market opened, it kind of actually pre-market it started running, and when the market opened, it sold off a little bit because these are the people that bought here started taking their profit and then started gapping up, and then which formed this U-shaped pattern, which is a bullish sign, and then it kind of gapped up and then sold off. And then what I usually do is, how do I determine whether or not a stock should be on my watch list, is I try to see if it kind of ends the day near its high or past its high or holding its highs, then my expectation is going to be volatile the next day. This is a stock that's going to be great to short because if you look at the history, the stock history, like I'll pull up the yearly history. This is a stock that's gone up as high as 433, and then it's been gapping down next to none, right? Because it's a dog shit company, okay? And if you look at the stock, it's had 2 green days, right? More than likely, it's going to start giving some of these shares back. So if you can find shares to short, this is probably going to be a good short on Monday, all right? I'm going to look at other stocks before I decide to put this on my watch list because I like to watch stocks that are holding its highs. I mean, it closed at the market close. It closed at about 125, and then it actually gapped up post market close to 150. It actually closed at where is this? Yeah, 145. So that's the final price at it right now. So it's probably going to be somewhat volatile. Maybe a great short. Why not? I'll put it on the watch list. All right. So, and let's look at the next chart. The next chart was CFBK, some bullshit company. Hasn't had a lot of volume, but if you look at this 5 days ago, this stock was trading at 215 and it's up to 319. These are those stocks when you see that they're like less than a million shares, like somewhere between 500,000 and a million shares traded. These are sometimes really good for like swing trading because not a lot of people are in it, and it's probably being pumped, and it might be a good swing trade. I'm not gonna put it on my watch list, but you know, what I've noticed since I've been trading is a lot of these stocks that seem to be up that have this kind of move slowly up, and it held its highs, and maybe a good short, but not a lot of value. So I don't really care to trade it, so I'm gonna keep it moving. ATNM, next stock. This was 5 days ago. It's at 101. It's at 138 now. Kind of held its highs. Had a lot of shares. It traded a lot. I mean, it had a nice. It rolled the 9 EMA up, You see, you got some nice entry points. Entry point here, so it kind of went out, and then this is the pullback, and then you get the next spread up, and then you pull back, and then it kind of like sold off a little bit. I don't really necessarily love it. I mean, it's held its highs at the end. It closed up strong, and then it kind of, it gapped up strong, and then it sold off. I don't really love it, but it is liquid, and it might be a good potential short but the range is between $1 and $1.38. I don't love it. I'm gonna skip it. CBR. Oh no, this is a stock 5 days ago that was at 55 cents. It cracked to 22 cents, so this was very oversold, and now it's been gapping up. But it had 6 million shares. But I'm not a big fan of stocks that are below 30 cents. And you could look at it. I mean, this would be very hard to find shares to short then that's the only thing I would do is short a stock like this. And the only probably brokers that probably you may be able to find shares are Speed Trade or Centerpoint. You're not going to find shares for this on E-Trade or Thinkorswim for sure. Next up, ESPR. See, this is a stock. Even though it's expensive, these are the stocks that I like to trade because these are the stocks that are. This is an example. This stock opened at $13 and it closed at $16. An incredible move, $16.88, and it closed holding its high. So it's going to be liquid, even though it's an expensive stock. This is a stock that my expectation is. Oops, I put the number ESPR. Oh man. ESPR. There we go. So this is a stock that 5 days ago was trading at $10. Pretty incredible move over the last 5 days. It's up $6. So I mean, wow, you can make some. If you had a large position size, you can make some serious bank. Now, what I usually do is to see, all right, is this a good time to short? You see that it's above VWAP right now. This is the VWAP price, so it's above it. So, when you short it, you should expect it to at least trend down back to VWAP. And what I like to do is I like to look at the yearly chart, and then I just zoom, just kind of scan in and see where we at, right? So this thing had, on, what day was this? On the 24th of January, this opened at $11 and it closed at, it had a high of 11.25, closed at 10.71. And then on the 25th, it opened at 11.35, had a high of 12.05, it closed at 11.21. I mean, so 11.87. Then it had a pullback this day, and then it had a green day, then it had a pullback. Then it's had 2 green days, then 1 red day, and then this huge green day. So you know what I expect? I expect this to be a good short. It's probably gonna be very volatile, and you're gonna have a good opportunity to short this for some money. All right, but it's very bullish. If you on the yearly chart, look at the MACD. This is a very bullish sign, but the RSI is hot. So what does that tell you? That it's probably gonna pull back a little bit. All right, so I would watch this to see for a potential short play. If you're looking at the 1 minute chart to see what it does, you see it gaps up, it pulls back. It gapped up, it pulled back. It gapped up, it pulled back. It gapped up. So what do you think is going to happen Monday? It's probably going to pull back, and then it's going to gap up. This is probably going to be a nice volatile. And what I would be doing is looking to see it probably short all the way back down to about the 15.11 mark, and then bounce back up. Who knows? Or at least to the $16 mark, somewhere around there. So definitely going to be watching this, even though it's a little bit pricier than I like to trade. Next up, ANIOJ. Let me go back to the 1 day, 1 minute. Some dog shit company, no way. Next up, look at this stock. This stock, and I'm on the 1 minute, yeah. So this stock went from $17 to $20. Pretty remarkable. Wow, it closed at $20.54. This stock 5 days ago was trading $17. So I mean, it's moving. I'm gonna put it on my watch list. It's a pricier stock, but this is something that you definitely may look to short. Or if you're an options trader, buy a put, VWAP, it's above VWAP, all right? So, you may get a few more, get a little bit more momentum in this, but I would be looking at it to see what it's going to do. If you look at the yearly chart, all right, you see what it's doing. Wow, this thing has been, its high it's ever been, the highest it's ever been was on the yearly is 23.62. And this thing's had a string of, let me go back. Wow, back in February of last year, it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green days. Wow, it's pretty remarkable before it pulled back. And that's what happens, guys. So when you're watching stocks, they're gonna have it's usually 3 green days before it has a pullback. Like, it's very rare you're gonna have like 7, 8 green days before a pullback. But if you look at the history, and then it had the 3 pullback, then 1 green day, then 3 days pullback, then 1 green day, then 4 days pullback, then 4 days, 5 days green, and then 1 day pullback, but it pulled back hard. And then you had these 3 green days and it pulled back. So you're gonna notice that stocks always get back some of their gains, and when it hit its high, look at this, it completely collapsed all the way down back to 11 bucks. All right. And now it's been kind of, consolidating and running again. And if you notice, the last time it hit its high was at $15. It sold all the way back off, back to 9. And now it's ripping, right? It's been ripping. It's above the 9 and 20 EMA. And, and then it consolidated back down all the way to 17. And then it's back up, and then it's back down to 17, and all the way back up to 20. So what I expect to happen, I expect this to give some of those gains back, but we'll see. Right, it's a volatile stock. It's a little bit more expensive though than normally I like to trade. Next up is DSS. It ripped over 5 days ago, 76 cents. Man, this bull market is crazy. 76 cents. Now it's at a high of 164. It's liquid. It had 3 million shares. It had its run in the morning, and then it just kind of collapsed and consolidated. And this is probably give back. I mean, if you have a big trader, if you're like with a big trader like Speed Trader or like Centerpoint, and you could find shares to short, I say, short this bad boy down. It's below VWAP, and it could be volatile Monday. We'll see, but I'm not going to put on my watch list. FRE&J, that's some bullshit stock. HEAR opened at 106, and it held its highs to 133. Showed a million shares, not super liquid, but liquid enough. I'll watch it, see what it's going to do Monday. And just to show you a 5-day chart, it was at 128. So it's above the 5-day high. So, it may have some ability to gap up. And then if you want to do more investigation, you see the yearly chart. At the most, this stock was at $2. This is one of those stocks that on news it tends to move. But you notice it came all the way back down. So, its normal range, it looks like it's normally trading between 140 and 86 cents. So, this is probably going to give a lot of that back. So this was going to be a pretty good short if you can find shares, So let's keep it moving. So back to the 1 day, 1 minute. And we'll just proceed on. I don't like that chart. ADHD opened at 113. It closed it holding its high at 143. VWAP is 129. You can see what it's done over the last year. The last year at the highest, it was $5. It's really low. It gapped down between 204, and it had some bad news. I don't know, it was some earnings news, and it was down to 83 cents. So it's in slowly grinding up. This is a stock that it doesn't have any resistance. It's something to watch. Just see what the price action could dictate. I mean, if it can get above this what is this, the 20 EMA. All right, then you can see where it's at in terms of moving average. So like if I come here and I put like the 200-day moving into simple, I type simple moving average, and just let's put like see what is at 200-day. Oh, let's do the 50-day. And yeah, I'll leave that color. That's fine. Yeah, so the simple moving average, the 50-day simple moving average is 180. So you know what? This has a chance to if it can break 136, this can be one of those slow grinders that can work its way back up. It may be a potential swing trade. I'm gonna put it there because it held its highs, and you see maybe it's volatile. All right, we'll see. All right, so let me go back and keep going. So you see, I just go through the list. There's a stock, ABHD, so it had over 1 million shares traded. 5 days ago, this was trading at 46 cents, and it hit its low of 41 cents, and now it gapped up to 51 cents. I mean, it's an ugly chart. I mean, it may have the potential to continue going. See what it's done over the last year. This thing was at $5, and it's just been a shitty company. Hit its low of 36 cents, and it's been slowly kind of grinding up. It's right at the 50-day moving average. It just kind of broke it. So it has the potential, but I wouldn't put it on my watch list. But who knows? Nobody ever really knows what these stocks are going to do. But it did hold its highs. So, it's kind of part, but I don't really like the chart too much. So I'm just going to skip it. BIOS is at 50, low 155, and the open hit 182. and it kind of closed holding its highs. I'm going to keep this on my watch list. This may be a good short. Alright, next up, AXON. AXON opened at 12.29, hit a high of 14.09, and then it kind of washed out at the close into 13.09. It still has more to give. This might be a good short because it's you know, it was as low as 11 bucks, so it may still have more to give. And it is sold 1 million shares. Not super liquid, but liquid enough, you know. I'm gonna skip it for now because there's so many charts to look at, but this is something that you may want to potentially short. All right, EMES. This is a stock that opened at 17, hit a high of 20. And you know, it's a VWAP's above VWAP and everything. It was $16 4 days ago, so I would be watching this to see what it's going to do Monday. Definitely going to eventually give some of those gains back. BIOC opened at 136, hit a high of 165, gave a lot of those gains back. Sort of like within its range. I don't like it. FNMAT, nope. COWN opened at 14. Closed at 16. Not very liquid though. 736,000 shares. This is one of those charts that, you know, you can potentially swing trade. All right. You know, it's above the 50-day moving average. It's above VWAP. You know, maybe continue to trend upward if you want to see what it's done over the year. You know, it's the high of it's been over the last year 1675. So you know what? This is going to be a chart that's going to be great to short. You know, if you can find shares to short COWN. You know, it's probably going to get back some of those gains. But I'm going to keep moving on. I'm not going to put it on. It's not a liquid. This chart, nope, sucks. CY was as low as 12.15 and a high of 12.97, and then it gave a lot of that back. Look at that nice little washout. And then it kind of kind of bounced. This formed this U shape, which is a bullish sign, and then it just kind of gapped up. And it's been sort of, you know, its low was 9.99 pre-market then, and then it hit up high at 12.97. CY was on my watch list Friday, and you know, if anybody traded this, would have did well. I looked at my watch list on Friday, and if you notice over the year, this has gone from $6 to 12.97, so it's at its high, you know, over the last year. I'm expecting this to give, you know, a lot of its gains back. You know what? I'm gonna put it on my watch list again. It's held its highs. It's pretty good. Next up, CALA. This stock was on my watch list too, and it was very volatile. If you notice, it formed this U shape. It hit the low, and then it just kind of gapped up, and then, you know, it's pretty volatile stock. If you look at it, it closed holding its highs. Closed into the after I was closing its highs, so I'm definitely gonna put this on my watch list. It's been moving a lot the last few days. It's $5. This is $5.10 5 days ago, which is pretty remarkable. GST, I don't like the chart. CXRX, don't like the chart. ABWN, don't like the chart. It was 138. It's a good swing trade actually, and it's still holding its highs. If you look at the yearly, wow, this thing was 25 cents. That's pretty remarkable, man. These are the kind of stocks that you get in early and you know what you're doing. These are the stocks that make you rich. Wow, it's been, look at this. This has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a pump, and it's 8 green days. You know what? I'm absolutely gonna put this on my watch list. And if I can find shares to short, I'm gonna short this bad boy, because this is a stock that absolutely is gonna give back its gains. It's not gonna run like this forever. But let's go back 1 day, 1 minute. Alright, and let's keep going. EXEL, 18 bucks. It gapped up all the way to 20, and then it kind of washed out into the close. This is a stock that 4 days ago, 16 bucks. Pretty remarkable run over the last 4 days. It's above VWAP. It's like right below. It's right around the 50-day moving average. You know, this is a stock that eventually will be a great short. But if you're an options trader, it's a good chart to put. You know, kind of gave a lot of those back. You know, it's not a bad stock to trade actually. It's probably going to be pretty volatile. It's 9 million shares. So, and if you look at the yearly, I mean, wow, this is 355. Like, oof, wow. These are I'm telling you, if you know what you're doing, these are the type of charts that'll make you rich. You know, so it's just been running, ripping and running. I mean, wow, this thing had like, look at all the green days in a row. It's freaking crazy. Wow, this thing has just been ripping and ripping and ripping and ripping. When it hit 15, it had that nice washout. People took all their profit there and then just kind of gapped down. But the last, like since October, this thing has just been ripping. And then it kind of gapped up and then it washed out all the way back to 15 and then it's up at 20. Yeah, this is going to have a nice washout. This is going to be a great short. But it keeps running, which is pretty remarkable. So keep your eye on it. Let's keep going. AFMD, nope. EMVA, wow, 13 up to 15, back down. This thing was trading at 13.88. This may be a potential short. I'm not gonna look at it. I'm just gonna keep going. GV, gold stocks are obviously gonna all be in play. It's an ugly looking chart, but when gold is up, these are one of the gold stocks you should look at for sure. It's held its highs. You know what? But it has no value, so I'm not gonna put it on. JLE, nope. CRR, sold over 1 million shares, opened at 14, closed at 15.60. The stock was trading at 13.28 5 days ago. It's something up could potentially watch. I'll put it on my watch list. Maybe a good short. CARB. Opened at 19, closed at 20, opened at 26, but no value. These are those good swing trades. I mean, for $16 5 days ago, pretty remarkable. I'm not gonna put on my watch list, but this is something that if you may look to potentially swing. All right, FMCKJ, nope. Stocks with 5 initials, stay away from them, man. They're shitty companies. ANTH, nope. BKB, no. BGC, I mean, it's pretty volatile. But no value, nope. CGI, I mean, it's held its highs, but it's not very volatile. These are stocks that you look at for swing trades. CLNE, I mean, it's held its highs. It sold over 1 million shares. 240, I don't really love it. I'm gonna skip it. ENCL, nah, not enough value for me. AMRN, I mean, it held its highs, but and it's liquid. It's an ugly chart though. But it was at 281 5 days ago. Now it's at 314. It's just been kind of running sideways and then it's running up. I don't know really how to feel about this. I mean, it is bullish. It's a little it was overextended. It kind of pulled back. I don't know. I don't really love it. Let me see what it's done over the last year. I'm just curious. It's pushing towards its high. I mean, this thing's had a lot. Look at this. Look at all the green days in a row. That's pretty remarkable. And this is sort of, this has been right here. It's been its resistance. It just broke resistance, but it's back below it. It hit a high and then it's kind of been back down. It had 3 red days, and I'm assuming it's gonna give back a lot of this. Maybe a good short. You can find the shares to short. I mean, on the yearly chart, this thing is bearish. So if you're looking at the yearly chart, but it's getting close to that, 30, which is overbought. I'm sorry, oversold. So, I mean, this may be a potential short. You can find the shares to short. It had enough value. It's just not big enough. The movement is not big enough for me. So, but you can put it on your watch list. I'm not gonna put it on mine. CORT opened at 752, held its highs at 798, but no volume. And a lot of these stocks, the rest of these stocks, CTX, yeah, don't love it. No volume. CGST, it held its highs. I mean, its highs 175. You could trade it. I don't like this chart. I'm gonna skip it. FGEN, no volume at all. But this thing 5 days ago was trading at $21. And slowly it's been grinding up. It's one of those stocks that you may look at a potential swing. ACI, no way. Then we got 3 other stocks. DO, which was from 16 to 17. Yeah, it's held its highs, has some volume. I'll put it on the watch list. This watch list is a little more expensive than my usual watch list. CARA. All right, this car rat has been like, this is on my watch list just about every day. This stock. I mean, look what happened. it ripped up, and I shorted this. I made a killing shorting it, and I told everybody on my watch list when I made my watch list for Thursday into Friday that this was gonna happen. That more than likely it was gonna pull up and then have a big washout, and then gap back up. This stock is super volatile. I mean, it's great to trade. If you got a sizable account, you can make a lot of money trading this. I mean, you can just look at this chart, this stock all day, and just trade it. You know, back and forth. To be quite honest with you, you know, it's just been ripping. You know, it's just been ripping. If you look at the yearly chart, this thing was like, I don't know. I remember I had this there like $4, and it's just been on a tear. If you look at it, it's still bullish on the yearly chart. See, this is a very bullish sign. It's oversold. I mean, overbought. So, you know, I mean, I expect it to have another pullback Monday. It'll probably give you a great shorting opportunity, and then it's gonna rip back up. That's what it keeps doing. So yeah, put this on your. It's on my watch. Did I put it? No, Cara. This will be the stock I'll probably be watching Monday more than any other stock. AGN. So that's the Monday in a minute. It was at 388. Closed at 413. Slow grinder. 5 days ago it was at 363. It's just been slowly grinding. Flying like $3.90 to $4 range, and it's kind of broke out above it. If you want to see what it's done over the last year, I mean, the high is $7. If we look here, you know, the next resistance point is not till 436. So, you know, I mean, you could potentially look to see this might move in the open, and you know, might hit around this area and then kind of like pull back. So I would put it on. They held its highs. It's, you know, it's right below 1 million shares. It's not super liquid, but see what it might do at the open. Go back, and that's pretty much all the stocks that are on my watch list. Now, just to pivot for a second, this is stocks to trade. I also use stocks to trade. It's a good scanner. Has a lot of cool features, like you know, you can come here, you can see like key statistics for stock. You can see like the profile of the stock. You can click the link and it kind of tells you some information about the actual company, which is very cool. You can even like do like simulated ordering, so like you can actually place trades on it with this you know, with this fake you know, practice simulator, so you can like simulate trades in real time using it. It even has like a Twitter feed, so like you click the link, and what it does, it links you to Twitter, and it gives you all this information about the stock and what people are posting about it. It's very cool. You know, it has the top percentage gainers, new highs, new lows. This is a watch list that I built for February 3rd. It even has like a custom-made Twitter screener that you can like build a criteria list, like based on stocks that you want to look for via Twitter. Let's see. The only thing that you know, I'll be honest with you though, it is a little bit glitchy. See, it's not even opening up this scanner. But alright, I'm not gonna go crazy looking at that. But I'll show you what I do have. This is my screener, and these are just like I have in Thinkorswim. I have a criteria. This is a little bigger. Stocks between 20 cents and $50 that are 5%, 500,000 shares that have been traded at least 1,000 times. Like, one of the things you don't get in Thinkorswim is you can't tell how many times a stock has been traded. And that's important because let's say you had a stock that had a volume of like 3 million, meaning 3 million shares have been sold, but only had like 10 trades. That means 10 people placed trades on that stock that sold 3 million shares. It's not liquid enough. That's why trades matter. That's why when I post my watch list, I always include trades, so that you know that the stock is volatile and liquid and it's traded a lot, so that you know you get executed easier. All right. And what I do is I see here, and you notice it has 88 stocks here as opposed to the 90 I had on my on the Thinkorswim scanner. But you know, I do the same thing here, and I think it's these two were the different. Oh no, I had 90 here, but these two I don't even look at. But you know, you could go in and you can just click on the stock just like I do with Thinkorswim, and I just click on the link and it opens the chart, and then I can kind of look and see. And I have like my RSI, my MACD. That's how I you know, those are like my indicators. I also use the 9. Oops, let me go back. And I use the 9 and the 20 EMA. This here in VWAP. So it's cool. It gives you like the high and the low. tells you the opening and the close price, gives you the volume, the 52-week high, tells you the flow, it gives you all that information. And it also has level 2 here. So you get like kind of everything all in one screen. I think that was the purpose of it. And it's supposed to have broker integration, so it's pretty cool, you know. I mean, it has a lot of work. If you look at the needs work, you know, like if you look at the indicators, like I don't particularly love this, and you can't like modify a lot of this stuff in the way it looks. You can, you know, you can create your own custom sort of your custom indicators, right? And you know, you can change the color and stuff, but I don't particularly love the look of this. I wish you can do more with it, but you know, it's still a new product, and it's still a work in progress. But it's cool in the sense that, you know, you can like click this button and it launches the chart, so you can have the chart, like if you have multiple windows, you can kind of navigate it through multiple windows. And if you if you want to have multiple scanners, like you can build a criteria list. So let me go. So I click plus, and it brings me here, and I can go. This has like built-in actual scanners, so you can look for the biggest dollar gainers between $20 and under, or $1 and under, $5, the biggest percentage gainers over the past 3 days, 5 days by exchange, over 24 hours, over 72 hours. It's pretty cool. Or you can build your own. So like if I went here, I can build out my criteria. So you can build out your criteria by price data, liquidity, technical overlays, fundamentals, and you kind of go through earnings and markets, and you can kind of do all kinds of cool, fun things. So you know, so you can kind of look to see how you want to build things out. So there's your price and your liquidity and the trades and the technical overlays plus the indicators, and as well as the fundamentals like float and PE and market capitalization. So you can build out criteria lists a million different ways. It also has Oracle, which is kind of cool now, where, let me go back. So if you click this little button here, Oracle, it'll give you a bunch of symbols. It'll tell you to trade. Like it'll tell you when your entry point and your exit point should be based on support and resistance. It's pretty cool. It gives you a lot of things. I mean, Oracle, this thing is not perfect either, but it's pretty cool. You know, it's helpful. So you got all these cool features here, and this is where you can kind of like create your own watch list. So this is, so I have right now $62,000 of buying power. Realized for $34,850 of P&L. I've been doing pretty good with some of the paper trades. Sometimes I'll place a paper trade if I don't, you know, if I can't find shares for a stock to short and things like that. So I just wanted to talk about that as well. If you're interested in stocks to trade, I think it's a cool product. You know, I recommend it. It's pretty cool. So with that said, I'm pretty much done, guys. So, you know, see you Monday. Again, you know, I'm on Bullish Bears on Facebook. You know, click the link on the Twitter. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Have a good one, guys.